Mills, and I am coming at you continuing my little triad of videos with books that I think should be adapted into movies. So as I mentioned in my previous video, I am doing a little triad series of books that I wish were turned into TV shows, movies, and stage plays. And so now I've got my movie list for you, and these are books that have not been adapted and that I desperately want to see movies of. Why have people not bought these rights? I don't know. They should do it. This is my cry to Hollywood movie producers and say, please buy these rights to these books and make these movies. Please, please, please. I think the authors would appreciate the large paycheck as well. Okay, this first one I'm going to mention is like, nobody knows this book exists, and it makes me really sad because I love this book, and it's totally hipster to Ready Player One and Otherworld and Warcross and all the other video game dystopian books that are out nowadays. This book came out in 2004, okay? This is Epic by Caustic, and I love this book. I love this book. It's so good. It's about this boy named Eric who lives on a planet where the government and the rules of this planet are dictated by this video game, which is like, you know, Skyrim video game-esque. And he starts noticing things in the game that are not correct, like glitches and things, and his father is accused of something bad, and he and his friends go off to find redemption and then try and take down the government. It's a whole thing. I love it. I want this to be a movie, and I don't want them to do it how they're doing Ready Player One. I want the avatars to look like actual people. I don't want them to look like avatars and clearly like, or like blue avatars or video game avatars. I want them to be actors, and what I love the most is that Eric in this, his avatar is actually a really tall, long-haired, redhead female named Cinderella who is badass and awesome, and I always wanted to play her in the movie version. So this needs to be a movie, and more people need to read this book. Just saying. This one, I'm sorry, but we need a movie of this, and it makes me really happy that this author made it into a book, but at the same time I was like, dude, you totally could have made this into a movie, because the showrunner of Game of Thrones, David Benioff, wrote this amazing World War II historical fiction called City of Thieves about two Russians during the Nazis' invasion on Leningrad, that they are captured and have to retrieve a dozen eggs for the chief of police's daughter's wedding cake. And it's tiny. It's like the size of The Great Gatsby, and it's intense. Every single one of these 200 and something pages is intense and amazing and incredible, and it reads like a movie and like a screenplay, and I'm like, this could so easily be adapted. It's not even funny. So, David Benioff, I know you wrote this book. Get on this screenplay and win a bunch of awards for it, and like, just make it a thing. Please? Okay, this other one may seem a little out there. I think this book also came out in 2003, and it's a nonfiction book, but with just how the world is, I would love this movie. It's called Reading Lolita in TERHAN, and Azar Nafisi is one of my favorite nonfiction authors. Her most recent one is Republic of Imagination. And that is also, it's about literature in the Middle East. It's basically American literature and bringing it to the Middle East. This one's obviously not necessarily American, because Lolita was not written by American, but it's like teaching these women about their lives and themselves through American literature and the idea of education during the Iran Civil War and invasions and just in a country that is so divided, and literature bringing these women together. And it's such a passionate, amazing story. And to me, I just feel like it would be such a pertinent movie at this moment. And I think, again, it could be a really great, like, Oscar buzz, amazing one. And I think we need more women of color on the screen, and this would be a perfect opportunity for that, and to tell their story. Such a good book. Gosh, it's good. On the complete flip side of that serious, amazing, thought-provoking nonfiction is a humor book that I want made into a movie, and Christopher Moore is coming to Tattered Cover, and I'm gonna lose my mother-loving mind. I'm just not, I can't, I'm so excited. I don't think you guys understand how excited I am, if that freak out 2 seconds ago didn't show it. But Lamb, The Gospel According to Christ, Biff's Childhood Friend, is a movie I need. I need it. I need all of this. I need Biff's narration. I need the silliness. I need Joseph being described how to have sex. Because it's about Jesus, okay? It's a parody on the Gospels, and it's about Jesus and those, like, missing years from when he's, like, 14 to when he's 33 and how he developed all his philosophies, and Biff and Mary Magdalene, oh my gosh. And just, like, Joseph is drunk when he gives the parable on the mound. Guys, it's so good. It's so funny. It would just make for a hilarious movie, and just so smart. Smart and hilarious. It's my favorite type of combo. This one I also think needs to come out. Again, World War II, which is... Untold Stories of History with World War II still seems to be a really hot topic, and I just feel like that Hollywood should just keep that trend going with Ruta Zepedi's Salt of the Sea, which this would be a brilliant movie with the 4 different perspectives about the largest fatality boat crashing ever, more so than the Titanic. I mean, Titanic got its own 2.5 hour long movie. I mean, it was 2 VHS tapes long. Why can't Salt of the Sea have something that amazing about a historical event that was, like, way more fatal, sure, than Titanic? It's just so good and great perspectives, and gosh, can you imagine the teenage performances we would have out of this? Oh, it'd be so incredible. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here with World War II. This is an alternate history World War II, and if you haven't heard me talk about it, then you must have just joined my channel, because I love Wolf by Wolf. Blood for Blood was one of my top favorite novels that I read in 2017, which is the sequel to this, and I think both of them should be their own separate movies. I think they'd be incredible. I think it'd be an amazing first movie and an even better second movie, like Godfather and Godfather 2, which I haven't seen, but everybody says the sequel's better than the first, so whatever. I'll get on it. Okay, don't scold me for not having seen Godfather, okay? Just saying it right now. I don't care. So, Wolf by Wolf, I think has a great mix of sci-fi and adventure, and I just think that recreating a world where the Nazis won, but it's still the 50s, and America are isolationists, would be such a dream for creative minds and designers, production designers, costume designers. Like, I think they'd have a field day with this, and it would just be a gorgeous, intense movie. Like, Chris Nolan could get his hands on this and make something really cool out of this one. I'm almost done here. I got 2 more. So one is from a childhood favorite where I always wanted to play Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. This was supposed to be a movie. It has an IMDb page back in, like, 2009, okay? Like, this was supposed to have a movie. It hasn't happened, and I'm very sad, because this is, like, my childhood. You can see how beat up this book is, and it like, has watermarks. It's, like, so, it's, like, coffee. It's just, it's so well loved, because I love this book, and this book was, like, the book for me in middle school, and I would love to see it come to the stage. Something like, this is like Wonder. Yes, this is like my Wonder. Why can't I have a movie? Finally, the last book that I desperately want to become a movie is Vicious by Ve Schwab, which again, I talked about in my last one that I would rather have Darker Shades of Magic be the TV show and Vicious be the movie. I know there's a sequel coming out. I just want this one, okay? I'm just judging on what I have read, and that I know that vengeance is coming, even though Ve Schwab keeps, like, lamenting over it on Twitter. It's kind of hilarious. But I want this movie. I want this villain? I want this villain origin story, and I want it now. I want it now! Okay, I'm done now. But it just would be brilliant, and can you imagine the actors? If they could just get some amazing people with, like, palpable chemistry for the 2 leads. I can't even think of anybody now who it might even be. Actually, it might be kind of funny if it was like the Hemsworth brothers or something, like men who are actually brothers in real life or like really good friends, because it just would need to be that powerful. And man, this could be a dark, creepy movie. It'd be so good though. So yes, ladies and gents, these are some of my favorite books that I think would make excellent adaptations into movie format. Please let me know down in the comments below what books that haven't been turned into movies that you would like to see turned into movies, and why you think that they would make a better movie rather than TV show or stage play. Because I think it's a really interesting conversation between the different formats of telling stories, and you know, books are really popular for being turned into movies and TV shows and stage plays, and I just would like to know what your reasoning is behind your choice. Until next time, guys, bye! I'm not even gonna pretend that it's a different day and I'm changing clothes because it's too much effort and I'm really boxed in here. I should show you my filming setup at one of these points because it's very confining. If I were claustrophobic, we would have a problem.